Hi, so this is the Vantrue R3 dash cam, and I'm going to go through all of the menu options and also give you some sample video clips at the end of this video. So let me just go through a close-up of the camera itself. So this is the camera, and you'll notice it's very low profile, and that's what you want in a dash cam. You want it to be discreet when you're putting it in, such that from the exterior it doesn't look like you actually have any type of camera. So let me go over some of the buttons. You'll see there's a record button, a mode to get into the setup, the various configurations, and then just navigation buttons to go up and down, but also quick buttons for muting the dash cam or putting it in parking mode. And you'll see that there is a mic here, and this is the suction cup mount. And on the top here, you'll see there's a plug here. There's an additional plug here. There's also a plug on the mount, and I'll go through that later. There's a power button, though all of these dash cams auto start. So once the ignition is on, it'll auto start and start recording. You push this button, it takes a photograph. And this is a mini HDMI cable input. And let me go through. So this is the micro SD card, and I have a 64 gig in here. In the description, in the instructions, it says it supports up to 64 gigs. So at 1080p, this will record 12 hours worth. And you'll notice I have a U3 card here, which is specifically for 2K video or 4K video, and I would recommend that. And I'll have this in my description area with a link to where to buy this on Amazon. So I would recommend a U3 card for durability reasons during recording. And this is a 165-degree camera or lens, so it records widescreen. And the camera is 1296p, which has a little bit higher resolution than 1080p, but the trade-off there is that the files will be larger. So when I mentioned that it takes 11 hours worth, that is at 1080p, whereas 1180p might take 7 hours worth of video. And let me go ahead now and show you the other components. So it does come with a USB cable to connect to your computer. This is the suction cup mount, and the way it locks in is simply twisting this once you have it on the windshield. And you'll notice this has an additional power cord, so that's how you would actually mount it onto your windshield here. And it separates. So what's convenient about this is that you could detach this dash cam without detaching the suction cup, which actually comes in very handy. And you'll notice one thing about this snap-in is, unlike a lot of the other connections to the dash mount, this actually has a little notch. And from my experience with some of these dash cams is it shakes off if it doesn't actually have a notch that locks in. So it's good that they paid attention to that failing of other dash cams and actually took that into account, such that the dash cam will not shake off as you drive over a long period of time. And that has happened. It doesn't even have to be a long period of time. I've had it shake off after 1 hour, but with this notch, it definitely will not do that. So connecting to the mount here, it simply snaps in, and there is a release here. Now, this is a very cool feature that it has the connection on the suction cup, which is where you would plug it in. And speaking of that, it does come with a cord for the car. if you're not doing a permanent install with the fuse box. This is what I use. And one of the handy things about this is it has a secret little USB that you could plug in your phone or anything else to charge. So that's the car cord here. And it does come with some quick guides. So these guides are actually in full color. And I'll go through, basically I'll go through a lot of these features here when I go through the menu options. So let me go ahead. So I'm going to give you two sample views here back to back, one of the daytime and one of the nighttime of the same exact stretch of road. So this is the highway, and you could see some of the signs here in the daylight. And in the next scene I'll be showing you the same exact stretch of road but at nighttime, so you could gauge just how the night sensor is as far as detecting lighting and some of the brightness and contrast during the nighttime. So this is the same exact stretch of road, and I'm going to enter into the highway here, where you'll see the main sign that I first passed by during the daytime. And after the scene I'll be showing you some equivalent street video of the street samples of daytime and also nighttime, and once again the same stretch of road, so you could compare and contrast both the nighttime and daytime. And you can see this is the sign that I passed by during the daytime, and the underbridge. And here is a stretch of road during the daytime, and you could see the lighting and also some of the street lights, as well as the car in front of me that I'm following. And the next scene and final scene is going to be at the nighttime. So you could see this nighttime stretch here, passing by this 7-Eleven. So this is the same exact scene once again, same exact stretch of road, nighttime. And you could see the difference between night and day with the street lamps, as well as the peripheral lighting and the street lighting. And I'm going to end with passing right near the, once again, the 7-Eleven. So I'm going to enter in the intersection where the 7-Eleven is. So let me go ahead now and show you each and every one of these menu options. So what I'm going to do is plug this into my computer. So this does recommend that you plug it in for 2 hours before you use it to charge the battery in it. So I am going to plug the power in. And once you plug the power in, just like with any dash cam, it starts recording. And you'll notice it starts recording because it blinks that record button, red. And to get into the menu mode, you have to stop the recording. To stop the recording, you push this record button here. And you'll notice the red has stopped. And now that the red has stopped, what I'm going to do here is go into the modes, and I'm going to toggle the modes. So you notice when I push this, I toggle between the camera and the configuration menus. So I'm going to push it again. And once you get into this configuration menu, the default is the record setup. To navigate between all the options, you push the arrow keys up and down. That's to access your files. That's the record setup. This is the system setup. And this is the GPS setup. Now, it comes with a separate GPS model that is not included in the standard package. Now I'm going to go in to the record setup. click OK, or let me go to System Setup first, click OK, and I'm going to navigate through all of the options for you. So that is the language. I'm going to click OK to select it and show you all of the language options. So I'm going to choose English. Now I'm going to go down, and that is the format, which is to format the SD card. And if you click OK, it's simply going to format. The time setup. So this is the date and time setup. And I'm just going to click OK for all of these to toggle through it. This is the auto LCD on or off. So you could set it to be on or off for up to 3 minutes. So off is that it's on all the time. And then 30 seconds is the screen itself will turn off after 30 seconds or 1 minute or 3 minutes. And I've selected 3 minutes. So off is that the screen will be on constantly, or this LCD screen will be on constantly. Now the key sound, if I click on that, on or off, I have it as on. Non-use, power off. So that's set to 3 minutes or 5 minutes or off. So that's when it's not in use. Flicker frequency, just have it on as auto. Firmware version. So that just displays the version of the firmware. And that's to go back to the default settings. So those are the options for the system config. Now I'm going to go to the record setup, and I'm going to click OK. And you can select the resolution. I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to navigate now up and down. So you'll see I have it set at 1080p HDR. So 1080p at 30 frames a second high definition. And this is the 1296p. So this is the highest resolution at 30 frames a second. And this is normal 1080p at 30 frames a second. This is 720p at 60 frames a second. So this will be lower resolution, but it'll have a higher frame rate, meaning it'll have less blur. So those are the options. Let me go through them again fairly quickly. And I do have mine at 1080p HDR. Loop recording. So all of these are loop recording, meaning that once it'll overwrite an older file and just keep on recording. So that's the default. And these are basically choices of how big a file you want it to be, whether it's 3 minutes each file, 5 minutes each file. And once again, it'll just keep on overwriting the files unless you choose off. So I have it at the default 3 minutes. G-sensor. So that's when it detects shock or vibration, it will save your most current file that it's on. So I'm going to choose that, show you some sensitivity here. I actually have it at off. And the mic, whether the mic is on or off, I will choose on here. So the mic is right here, so that's whether it records sound or not. Now going down, parking monitor, so that's the motion detection. And to have that, you really need it hardwired into your car. So I have it on at off. Exposure, I'll just have it at the default 0. Car set, so that's whether you want to set a number on the video itself. So I'll skip that. The stamps, so it lets you choose what's on the video, for example. And I've chosen to have basically, all of these other stuff on the video itself, imprinted and stamped on the video. So those are the choices: daytime, the logo, the GPS stamp, which is only beneficial if you have the GPS module, the car number, which is sort of basically the license plate, so I don't need those. And the next is time lapse. I just totally ignore that, but you could turn it on or off. I have it on at off. And delayed power off. So once the power is cut to it, basically when you get out of your car and you turn off the ignition, do you want it to record for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 seconds? And I guess I'll have it on 15 seconds. But that's really it. That is the complete modes. I'll go quickly into the GPS setup, even though I don't have a GPS. So it's on or off. And this is miles per hour or kilometers. And if I go back to mode, there's the file mode. Click OK. And you could see all of the files. So I'm going to go in. And now you can navigate through all the files and watch them on this. Of course, most people just take their SD card and put it in the computer. But that's really it. That is the complete the complete menu options for this camera. And I hope that helped, and please subscribe, and thank you for watching.